I was muted. Steve will be ready in about 2 minutes.
Okay, sounds good. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you can hear me okay. Prior to starting with Coach McCaffrey, Gary Barta is going to join us and have some comments. And so we're going to start with Gary, and then we'll go from there to Coach McCaffrey and our players. So, Gary, thanks for joining us today, and you're all set to go.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Man, I am excited to head to Indy. I wonder, tease Fran if they're going to ask him to take up citizenship. Hopefully we're going to be there for a long time. But thanks for giving me just a couple of minutes. I want to, again, congratulate Luka for I think since I've been sitting here the last 30 seconds, we've probably added a few more honors to Luka's list. 2-time National Player of the Year, 2-time Big Ten. He'll be 2-time All-American, and just so many great accolades. And it was an honor to officially announce the retirement of his number at the end of his career. The one other time I've had the opportunity to do that was with Megan Gustafson, who had similar accolades in her career. I did learn, and we have learned since Sunday, that Roy Marble's family was hurt and feeling disrespected since that day. And I just wanted to take a moment and share that absolutely that disrespect was unintentional, and to publicly apologize for that. Fran and I have also reached out to the family privately and shared those same feelings of apology, and also just shared with them some of the things that listen to them and hear from them, but also share with them some of the things that we're working on and planning for moving forward. When I arrived in 2006, there were 3 players who consistently were brought forward by fans and family members, indicating that they should have their numbers or their jerseys retired. And it was Roy Marble, Murray Ware, and Chuck Darling. And all 3 of those, through our university process, do not meet the criteria for those retirement requirements. Now I go back to 2015, when we honored Roy while Devin was here, and we brought him out on the court and we honored him. And at that time, I shared a vision that we have and continue to have to create a display in Carver Hawkeye Arena when we renovate the concourse to pay tribute to a lot of our greats, including Roy and Murray and Chuck. We put up a display. It's a temporary display that's still up there today, but we have not yet renovated the concourse, obviously. And so as recently as last January, before the pandemic, we conducted a meeting, and it's something we've been working on, but certainly finances and timing have come to bear. I can't go back to 1948, 1952, 1989 and discuss or talk about why those 3 individuals haven't had that honor bestowed upon them. It is complicated. It is a high bar for sure, but I can tell you I am committed this spring and summer. Let's get through the season. This spring and summer, I'll sit down with some of our former players, some of our longtime staff members, the historians who have been around here for a long time, and really go through and discuss and finalize how we can honor those 3, and then make sure there's not somebody else that we're leaving out. So again, I just wanted the opportunity to share that information with all of you. And then also just to say, we do apologize for any disrespect that we've put on the Marble family. Congrats to Fran, to Lisa, to Tom Brands. It's an exciting time of year. Let's go on and have a great postseason, and we'll keep you updated on any progress on that project as we're moving forward. So thanks with that. Steve, I'll turn it back over to you, and then Fran can switch places with me.
All right. Thanks, Gary, for your time today.
Thank you. You knew I would have walked away. Thanks, Gary.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us today. Can you hear me okay?
Got you.
All right, we'll go ahead and get to questions for Coach McCaffrey. Go ahead, Don Doxey.
Yeah, Fran, I guess we might as well jump into it. What do you know about Joe's status for this weekend and beyond that?
Not much more than I knew the other day. He was a little bit better yesterday, a little better today. He won't practice today, so we'll see. Again, he's literally day to day, so we'll see how he is today, tomorrow, and go from there.
Mike Halas.
Fran, I'm curious about this travel thing. Could you detail what it's going to be? When do you get to Indy, and are you going to be there from now until your last game is played?
Yeah, we leave tomorrow, and the answer is yes, Mike. We'll be there until our last game is played. Correct.
Oh, okay. A follow-up on that, if I could. What goes into all of this? Because this is a wildly unusual thing for you and every other team involved. What do you have to do to make this thing work as well as possible?
Well, you're right, Mike. A lot of things, I don't think our players have ever had to pack for 28 days. So it starts with that. So you can imagine what our coaches and student managers are bringing. We're bringing academic folks, obviously our strength and conditioning coach. But then the next phase is kind of staying sequestered with our group and not exiting the hotel and roaming around town and getting involved in contact tracing situations that could put us in jeopardy of having a healthy team. So it's be tested, meetings, practice, lift. Academics will continue. We'll have a room set up for the guys to do their classes online and whatever else they need, and just go game to game.
Mark Emmert.
Yes, Fran, I know you've spoken a lot about Luka in the past, but here he is now, Big Ten Player of the Year, two years in a row. It's never happened for the Hawkeyes. I guess, in your view, is it tougher to stay on top once you kind of achieve that level of brilliance, and how has he managed to do that?
I think it is tougher, Mark, because he's the focal point of every defense every time we take the floor, and the more tape that's on him, the tougher that gets for him. So I've just been really impressed with his relentlessness to continue to improve and to handle anything that comes his way from a defensive scheme perspective or a physicality perspective. He just keeps coming. And, he just, when you think he's maxed out, he just amazes you again and proves that there's more there. And that's a credit to him and his character.
Scott Docterman.
Yeah, Fran, I know over the years you grew very close with Roy Marble. You recruited his son twice, basically. Anybody who covered Dev has really high, strong feelings, positive feelings for Dev. When you saw what he had tweeted, did you reach out right after that or this morning? And what's kind of been his reaction to the last 12 hours through your conversations?
Well, I've had multiple conversations with his family members, reached out to Dev. I haven't spoken to him yet, but I reached out to him. I know that Dev knows I love him, and I loved his dad. We became very close, and I really appreciate Mr. Barta's comments and sensitivity toward the situation. In no way were we highlighting Luka to in any way disrespect anybody else, least of all anybody named Marble. So I just appreciate what Gary's doing, and these situations are not something I typically get involved with, but due to my relationship with both Roy and Dev, I did. I felt that it was important to do that, and our conversations have been very positive, and they will remain so as we move forward to honor Roy the way that he should be.
It's a complicated issue, of course, when you're dealing with honoring people and the levels of degree and all that. And I understand you're also preparing for, the tournament. How do you, going forward, is there a way where you can kind of parse this? I mean, even your own son, Patrick, has a number that was previously retired for a special reason. Is this going to be some off-season discussion to kind of how to make it more consistent per se?
Well, I think that's what Gary just said. Yeah, I mean, there are different circumstances for everybody, different eras. I think you look at Roy in particular. I mean, there's only two players that ever played here who scored 2,000 points or more, and he's one of them. So he was also on a team that won 30 games, which is the most that any team's ever won here. So, I don't think you have to stretch that far to understand what his performance and his accomplishments meant to our program and its history, in particular with his son coming here and having the spectacular career that he had. So I think Gary recognizes that. He said as much, and I'm confident in his ability with the other folks that he referenced to move forward and recognize Roy properly.
Mike Kloss?
Friday's going to mark 1 year since things were shut down. And what you personally remember from that day, that when word came down, maybe even the hours leading up to it, when the world was changing and the trip home?
When we got there, it was all systems go. We checked into our hotel like we've always done. We had meetings and meal, and then we all went over to see the game, the winner of which we were going to play. So it was Minnesota Northwestern. And so we were then preparing to play Minnesota. And, it just became more evident that there were issues involved, starting with the NBA players who contracted the virus. And then when Fred got sick on the bench, we didn't know if he had the virus or if he was just sick. And it turns out he was just sick. But, everything was hitting us all at once, and we really didn't know what it was. Those in charge had very difficult decisions to make, as we all know. We were prepared to play. We were prepared to play with fans. We were prepared to play without fans. I think initially we thought the tournament, the NCAA tournament, that is, would proceed. But then once they canceled the Big Ten tournament, the other one was canceled in short order. So we were all just kind of numb, Mike. I mean, families were in the lobby. Some of them had just arrived. We're getting ready to go to the game, and then, hey, we're not playing. Not only that, we're not playing again until next year. So there was disappointment, but anytime you're dealing with a situation where those involved make decisions based on an abundance of caution, you just move on, and the ensuing weeks and months were unique for all of us. And, we basically functioned on Zoom for the better part of the next 5 months. And then fortunately, our administration developed a incredibly involved return to play plan. And we were thrilled. The NCAA followed up with a similar plan, and here we are. We got all 27 in, heading to Indianapolis, and we're excited for the opportunity.
Mark Emmert.
Yeah, Fran, I wanted to ask about another player of your players that was honored today, Joe Wieskamp, obviously second team All Big Ten. Looks like he's playing the best basketball of his career here the last month or two. What have you noticed about him that's elevated his game recently?
I think it's what you just said. Yeah, he was a terrific player from the minute he got here, but I think the complete skill set that he's exhibited, in the last 6 weeks or so has been really impressive to watch, and it's a reflection on his work each of the last 2 summers. So I'm really happy for him to be recognized the way he has been.
Chad Leistikow.
With Joe Wieskamp's injury, is it strictly you're going to hear from the trainers and doctors, or will there be other factors you'll weigh in terms of what you'll allow him to do on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, it's strictly the trainer and the doctors. Can he go? Sometimes you deal with, is he 100%? Is he 90? Is he 80? Is he 75? How does he feel? What does he want to do? So we'll wait and see.
Grant Becker.
While we're talking about that, is there a number that you want him to be at with the Big Ten tournament versus the NCAA tournament, and wanting him to be at 100% by the time you guys get to the NCAA tournament? How does that process work for you?
See, the problem with that is you can't guarantee he's going to be at 100% if he plays Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We play Friday night, Saturday afternoon, so we'll factor that in as well. But I mean, if he feels really good, my anticipation would be to play him on Friday, and we'll see how he does. If he's not at or near 100%, then we might hold him. We're going to do what's in the best interest of the student athlete, bottom line.
Mark Emmert.
Yes. So, Fran, if Joe is limited a little bit, it looks like Tony Perkins would probably be a guy that could be more time, I guess. What have you noticed about him that makes you think he's more ready now than at the beginning of the year to kind of handle that load?
Yeah, I think Tony's a guy that would jump in there, but I also feel good with Aaron and Chris, and obviously it will enhance Patrick and Joe Toussaint's roles. Keegan moves into the starting lineup, so he's going to play a lot more minutes. So, I think it's an all hands on deck thing.
Chad.
Yeah, it's been nice, I guess, since Nunji's gotten hurt, that Luka hasn't been in any foul trouble. But have you thought about if and when that happens? Is that a case where, Chris Murray becomes the 4 and Keegan the 5? I mean, I know it's a case by case basis, but what kind of thought process do you have if Luka gets in some foul trouble?
You're right, Chad. That would increase Chris Murray's role without question. Get another bigger guy in there with length who can rebound in traffic. It also puts Josh Ogundele into the mix. He has made great strides in probably the last month. So I wouldn't be afraid to play both of those guys. Chris is a little further ahead of Josh right now.
Tom Kakert.
Fran, how do you handle the scouts? Like, this is kind of a weird one with, you potentially could play Wisconsin again. Do you just update them? How do you handle those sorts of things?
Yeah, we have a scouting report on Wisconsin. We know what we're going to see. We just saw it, and we saw it not a short time ago up there. So each assistant coach that's responsible for that team will be working on that opponent. So you got Wisconsin, Nebraska, and Penn State, because we don't know which one of those 3 teams we're going to play. We'll be ready for whichever one it is.
Go ahead, Grant.
Fran, Gary touched on this on Sunday, but Luka being named the Sporting News Player of the Year again this year puts him on a list that's, remarkable. I'm not sure even describes it. Michael Jordan, Bill Walton, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm not sure any coach in the country, particularly in the era of kind of the one and dones, expects to coach a player that puts together the list of awards that Luka has won. What has this been like from your perspective? I know you guys shared that personal moment on Sunday, but just seeing all this pile up and what it means for you and your program.
It's an incredibly proud time for me just to watch him enjoy, being recognized for the incredible amount of work he put into being great. I mean, that's what you want for everybody that you ever coach. It doesn't always happen that way. But like I said before, he's an incredibly determined young man to not be satisfied. You know, he gets a Big Ten offer. He's a Big Ten starter. But, you know, he's never satisfied, and he's not going to be satisfied until he's an NBA player, and that's what he's going to be next year.
Okay, we have time for one or two more. Mark Emmert.
Yeah, Fran, you're kind of a unique spot this year in terms of playing that last game on Friday. There'll be 9 games played before you guys play. Can you enjoy that and watch the games? Do you enjoy the competition of it, or you just kind of focus on your own team?
Yeah, it's strictly business, Mark. Just figure out who we're going to play, who we're going to play next. How do we get our team ready? That's pretty much the game plan.
And Ted Leistikov.
Yeah, excuse me. This is the first time you've had a chance to win the Big Ten tournament with 3 games in 3 days, and I noticed you did that 3 times at Siena. What is what's the key to doing that if you can string those things together? It's probably 3-3 is better than 4-4. I know that.
No question about that. It starts with being prepared and winning the first one, obviously, to get to Saturday. You don't want to ever kind of look at it, well, it's 3 games in 3 days. It's basically 1 game in 1 day, and then you have the opportunity to play again. And if you win that, you get the opportunity to play again. It takes a tremendous amount of mental toughness. I remember the last time we did it when I was at Siena, we were down double digits in the first half of all 3 games, and we ended up winning all 3 games. So it's staying the course, because you think, well, a team won 3 games, everything went perfectly. It's not going to go perfectly. We're playing too many good teams. So it's staying the course with what got us to the point where we are, our improved defense, our ability to share the ball, to understand how to utilize Luka, with great point guard play, and a team that really understands how to compete and play together.
All right. Thanks, Coach. We appreciate your time today. We'll get to Keegan Murray here in a minute. All right, Keegan, thanks for joining us. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Questions for Keegan Murray. Go ahead, Mike O'Brien.
Keegan, I know this will be a business trip, but first question is what's your longest vacation ever? How long have you ever had to pack for?
My longest vacation ever, probably a week. But hopefully this vacation's a little longer than a week. Hopefully it's 3 weeks, 4 weeks till April 6th.
Can you share how you go about packing for this long? Are you someone who details what they wear each day, or do you kind of just throw a bunch of stuff in a box and carry it with you?
I just go with the flow. I just throw stuff in a suitcase. If it's clean, I'll do laundry. I mean, I just throw it in and whatever. Just throw as many things that is in my suitcase as I can. That's it.
Don Doxey?
Yeah, Keegan, you mentioned something the other day after the game about meditation or something. I'm just wondering how that came about, how long you've been doing it, how frequently you do it. Just tell us a little more about it.
Yeah, so usually it's not really meditation, I'd say. It's more of I listen to motivational speakers. So at the end of or before the Wisconsin game, I listened to YouTube videos, Kobe Bryant on just outworking people, and I listen to LeBron. I listen to a lot of really popular figures around in today's society, and I just think that that helps me before games to just calm down, have a good mindset heading into the games.
How did you pick that up? How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it all season. I really just felt like it was something that would really help me just to get ready for games because we're playing multiple games in a season. Every game's a grind, and just listen to other people, listen to other people's experiences about what they're going through. The same things I'm going through right now has just really helped me a lot.
Pat Hardy?
Yeah, Keegan, your dad was obviously known for his defense when he played at Iowa, and that's what got him on the court really early. How much did he emphasize defense to you and Chris growing up? Did he spend more time than maybe a typical father would have, being that his experience on defense?
He actually didn't really go over defense a lot with us, to be honest. He just told us defense is a mindset. It really, and like this season really showed me that it really is a mindset. If you can outwork the opponent in front of you, you'll have success. And that's just what I've been trying to do every single possession, is just outwork the person in front of me. Defensively, just get after it, do whatever I can to not let the person in front of me score.
Chad Leistikow?
Hey, Fran mentioned Chris. What have you seen from your brother in practice? If Luka gets in some foul trouble, it sounds like he could get his number called a little more often.
Yeah, no, Chris has been great in practice. He's kept his head up. He's been playing really well recently. He just had a practice where he went 11 for 13 from the court. So I just think he'll be ready whenever his name's called. I just tell him to stay ready before every game because he never knows what could happen. And I think he'll be ready if he gets that chance.
Mark Emmert?
Yeah, Keegan, I don't know how you feel about individual awards, but what does it mean to you to be named Big Ten All-Freshman Team? And would you have thought that was possible coming into the season?
Obviously, it's a goal that a lot of freshmen have going into the year, just to be recognized with those great players that are in the same class as myself. I just think that's something that I'll really appreciate after the season. Really, right now, I'm just focused on winning games in March. I think our whole team's about that right now, and just it's just an award that I'll look after the season really magnify.
Any other questions for Keegan? All right. Thanks, Keegan, for your time today.
Yep.
Hey, Luka, how are you today?
How are you?
Good, good. All right, we'll go ahead and get right to questions. Michael Bryan, go ahead.
Luka, what's the longest vacation you've ever been on?
The longest vacation I've ever been on?
Yeah.
Longest
you've ever had to pack for?
Honestly, probably when I was younger, in the summers, we'd go as soon as school ended. In like about June, we'd go and stay in Europe and go to different places until the end of August. So that's probably the longest, so like 2 to 3 months. But it wasn't. It was more of like just kind of living over there than it was a vacation. But yeah, that's probably the longest.
Is that obviously you moved around in Europe, like you said, but in terms of you didn't see it as vacation, you saw it as living somewhere. Is that kind of how you go into what you hope is a elongated stay in one location, like you're temporarily living there?
Yeah, I mean we're going with the mindset that we're going to be there for a while, until April 5th. So that's all we're locked into, and we understand what it means to do that, and we're going to be able to play as hard as we can. And hopefully, we can make our trip an extended stay.
Grant Becker.
Luka, Gary started to get into this a little bit on Sunday, but now that you're officially the Sporting News Player of the Year for the second year in a row, you joined this list. The most recent guy to do what you just did is Michael Jordan. You also joined Bill Walton, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I know Kareem, when you won that award last year and you got a shout out from him, that meant a lot to you. I'm sure this stuff probably doesn't get old. What does it mean to see your name on a list of people like that, and what does it mean to you? Because North Carolina in the 80s was the last school to have this. Now Iowa has somebody with this. What does it mean to you to help Iowa in that way too, with the notoriety that comes with this?
Oh, it means the world to me. I'm so thankful for this university, and it's the reason why I'm on that list is because I came here to play for Coach and to play with this group of guys that we do have. So, I wouldn't be here without any of them. So I'm very thankful, and it's definitely something that's very awesome. And I think when I'm older, I think it's going to be something to look back on and really be like, wow. But for right now, I'm just so focused on the games that we have to come, and we're hoping to play 9 games in 27 days. So that's my focus.
Mike Floss, go ahead.
Look, a year ago when that day in Indianapolis, when the season got shut down and the world changed, what sticks in your mind from that day and the days that followed?
It was a crazy experience to have a whole season and just out of the blue. There was really no closure to it. You usually end the season with someone ended your season, but it was something completely different. So it was a crazy experience. I felt bad for all our seniors who couldn't come back. That we were going to be in the tournament, and they got to miss out on that opportunity. I think it just provided our whole team with a lot of motivation going into this year, and to make sure that once we get back to Indy, we're going to make it count, and we're going to do something special.
Mark Emmert.
Yeah, Luka, now that you've been Big Ten Player of the Year back-to-back years, was it more difficult this year? Did you see a little bit more exotic defenses on you? And I guess how were you able to pull that off 2 years in a row?
I think the reason I was able to do it is because of the group of guys that I played with, and because of Coach McCaffrey and his staff. With like I said, without them, that this would not be possible. So I'm very thankful to be in the position that I am at this university. But I think this year was definitely harder. I think the Big Ten was better, and it was really, really good last year, but it somehow got better. And we had a lot of great players, a lot of great teams. And, I think it was different from last year because last year going into the season, no one really expected, what to expect from me. They didn't really know that I was going to play at the level that I did. But this year coming in, I had all those expectations. So I was already a marked guy in the league, and coaches already knew what they were going to try to do to stop me. And so it was definitely more of a challenge, but my whole focus the whole year was winning games, and we finished 14-6, which is the best we've done in the Big Ten since I've been here, and I'm very excited about that. And to be number 5 team in the country is awesome, and we're going to continue to work and push forward. But that's been the best part about it, is just our success winning.
Tom Kakert.
Hey, Luka. Back when you announced that you were coming back a big part of it, the main part of it was this month, this coming up, what's coming up. It's here now. It was off in the distance when you announced it. Now it's here. What are your kind of emotions going into, this run that you're going to be going on, right? Starting when you get to Indianapolis tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just really excited. I love to play the game of basketball, and there's no time better to play the game of basketball than in the month of March. So I'm very excited for this opportunity. I'm excited for all our guys, and I just want to make sure that I just play as hard as I can every single second that I'm out there, and hopefully that's enough to make sure that we make a run. And I think our team has developed so much over this year, and especially recently with our improved defense, that we're going to continue to work on that, and because we know that that's what's going to take us to where we want to go.
Scott Reister.
Hi, Luka. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Great, thank you. Your off-season workouts, whether it's in the ones you did in Hawaii or in DC with your dad and your trainers, I hear they're pretty intense. You do pretty much all day, and you do a lot of extra stuff. How important is that for your own development, and how hard is it to push through those long days and knowing it'll be worth it?
For me, it's not too hard. That's probably one of my favorite parts about just the game of basketball in general. Is just putting in that work. I love the feeling of doing that, and once you're done, and you're done working out, you just feel so much better. And that's I just I crave that part of the game, because I know the more I do that, the more I'm going to be able to be successful and help my team win. So it wasn't really hard to push through that, but that's important. That's why I'm here, is that I was able to commit to the game the way I did and the way I have and the way I will going forward. I'm just going to continue to work as hard as I can, because I know what hard work gets you. And so I'm just thankful for my dad that put me around a lot of good people to work me out, and obviously he worked me out as well. But growing up, he was always, if it wasn't my dad, he was putting me around some really good coach and great basketball mind to help me learn the game even more. So I'm continuing to do that, as I finish my college career and beyond. I'm going to continue to work as hard as I can and soak up as much knowledge as I can from the people that I'm around.
Josh Christensen.
Luka, before your career started, before you started scoring all those points, we were seeing you in the primetime league up in Waterloo. What are some things that you remember about playing in that league? I mean, did it even help you prepare for what to expect at Iowa or your time at Iowa? I mean, you were sort of an unknown. We didn't even know what to expect from you, and 4 years later.
Yeah, I mean, the primetime league was a bunch of fun. I definitely have some good memories from that. I unfortunately that year I wasn't able to play in the tournament championship because I got hurt or something like that. But I do remember some of the games. I think my first game was against Jack, I'm pretty sure, and we were battling, and I think we combined for 79 points or something like that. It was me against him, and he was playing really well, and I was too. So that was a lot of fun. And I think the coolest part about it was to see Iowa fans just show up to a random gym in the summer to watch us kind of play pickup almost, and so that was really cool. And obviously it allowed me to kind of just grow with some of my teammates, and I think Mason Daly was my teammate, but also it's kind of crazy that Michael Bear was one of my teammates on my primetime league team, and he wasn't going to be on the Iowa team yet. He was going to be a manager, and I had no idea who he was. I obviously knew Nicholas, and then I got to know Michael through that, and now Michael's one of my roommates and best friends. So that's kind of crazy, but I definitely have a lot of fond memories from that time in the summer.
Chad Leistikow.
Hey, Luka, I know your basketball, and conventional wisdom says Iowa's locked into a 2 seed no matter what happens this week. So I know it's teeing this up for you here, but what are you guys playing for this week?
We're playing for a Big Ten championship. That's been one of our goals for a very long time since I got here to the University of Iowa, and obviously, this whole year with coming back, it was one of the things that was forefront of my mind was to try to bring a Big Ten championship to Iowa City. So, we're really excited about our opportunity to be able to compete for that. And, to be able to win it in this year with the teams that we have in the Big Ten and the players in this league, it would be unbelievable. And it will be an unbelievable feeling for whatever team actually ends up on top. So we're excited about the opportunity to be able to compete for that. And we're playing for a whole lot. I think obviously we know that the 2 seed is probably what we're going to get, but that's not something that's going to make us not play any harder. We're going to play as hard as we can, and because we want to win a Big Ten championship as much as we want to win a national championship.
Couple more here, Luka. Michael Bryan, go ahead.
Luka, your resume, probably one of the most decorated this program's seen, with the national awards, certainly the ones that keep coming, a jersey retirement. With a month left in your collegiate career, what are you hoping that can be, in addition, on your resume, what you can write on there?
I'm hoping that, we can have some amazing team success, throughout this last run in this postseason. I think with not being able to have last year's postseason and, not even having a freshman year, really postseason besides the Big Ten tournament, I think this is an awesome opportunity that I've been looking forward to for a long time. So I'm very excited about, the chance to, lead this team to where we've been wanting to go, since I stepped foot on this campus. So, I'm excited about the opportunity, and I really hope that, we just play the way we're capable of playing. And if we do that, I think we'll make it very far.
And a final question comes from-
Sorry, quickly, March is known for madness. I'm curious, have you hit a buzzer beater at some point in your career at any level?
Yeah, I hit one in high school. I had a buzzer beater. I was like a rebound. Someone missed a shot. I went and grabbed the rebound, and I put up like a jump hook off the glass and made it. So I haven't. And in college, obviously, I haven't hit like a buzzer beater, but I've hit some big shots over my time here. And I think in high school, we didn't have too many real. I don't remember really one opportunity for kind of like a buzzer beater that I had in high school and missed or anything like that. But I think it's always fun in those moments. You want to be the guy who has the ball in your hands, and for me, I just want to make sure that we take the best shot possible down the floor. So we have a lot of guys that can make shots, especially late games. So if we get in that situation, I have full confidence that whoever takes the shot is going to make it.
Thanks, Luka.
And Jeremy Wu.
Hey, Luka. Fran mentioned earlier, he was praising sort of like the levels to your determination, just sort of as a player to get better, from Big Ten offer, to being a Big Ten starter, that you're not satisfied and you won't be until you're an NBA player. Now, I know your focus is on the team right now, but just watching sort of the things you've added to your game over the years, has that been in the back of your mind, sort of how you can adapt to be a more versatile player at the professional level?
Definitely. I think, like you said, obviously my whole focus right now is on this team and what we can do in this postseason. But as a player, when I think about me transitioning to the professional level, I have no doubt in my mind that I'll be able to make it, because I'm just going to work as hard as I can and do whatever I can and whatever a team needs to be successful. So whatever role that is, however I have to play, obviously. I play a lot in the post in college, and that's something I love to do. But the game is kind of moving away from that in terms of the NBA. But I think I'm a good enough 3-point threat to be able to score from the outside as well. And I'm just as confident in my outside game as I am in my inside game. But like I said, right now, the focus for me is being able to win in March.
Thanks.
Thanks, Luka. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
You guys will finish up with CJ Fredrick here. CJ, can you hear me okay?
Okay, now we're ready.
All right, CJ, thanks for joining us today. We'll get right to questions for CJ Fredrick. Go ahead, Mark Emmert.
Yes, CJ, I saw a couple of honors for you today in the Big Ten voting, but what does that sportsmanship honor mean to you? And how do you think you achieved that?
I mean, yeah, it's an honor to be up for that award. Like I said, I'm just honored to be on any type of award.
Chad Leistikow.
I guess that was good sportsmanship. Yeah. What was it like playing? We didn't get to talk to you after Wisconsin, but there's a pretty good chance you'll play them again. Do you feel like there's some pretty good heated competition out there when you two face each other? And would you kind of welcome that a third time?
Yeah, I mean, they're a really good team. They're physical. Like you saw in the last game, it was a really good game. They're a physical team. They run really good offense, and they make you work defensively. So, we're just going to have a couple good days of practice, obviously see who we play, but we'll be ready for any opponent we face.
Mike Halas.
If you win Friday and you've got to play 2 days in a row and two games in less than 2 days, really, you think that you'll be good to go?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the goal. That's how I've been in the training staff with Brad every day. Just getting my foot, getting my body ready for the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament.
Mark Emmert.
Yes, CJ, we were at Indy with you last year when that tournament kind of got pulled from you right at the last minute. That would have been your first postseason in college, I guess. How excited are you to get a second chance now to go back to Indy and actually play in some of these games?
Yeah, I'm extremely excited. Playing in the Big Ten tournament, playing the NCAA tournament has been a dream of mine since I was a little kid. And last year sucked. It sucked for everybody. Life continues, and we have another opportunity now to play in a Big Ten tournament, to play in an NCAA tournament. So I'm extremely excited and really grateful for the opportunity.
Chad.
As someone who's been injured quite a bit this year, what were you thinking when Joe Wieskamp went down the other day for you guys?
Yeah, I'm sure you guys, some of you were in the arena, it just everything kind of went quiet. I've had a couple injuries like that. He's had a couple like that. They're scary. You pray that everything's okay. And Joe's probably one of the toughest guys I've ever been around. So I know he's going to be all right. But yeah, it was a tough one to see.
Mike Halas.
What was it like a year ago when the day the tournament had the plug pulled on it? What was it like for you? You're getting ready to go to the arena. You're got a mindset to play all weekend and play the following week. How did that, and in the days that follow, what did that feel like?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it was really disappointing. It sucked. I remember after I just kind of embraced a moment with my parents, my mom and dad, kind of had some tears in my eyes. Just because, like I said, it was such a dream of mine to play in tournaments like these. But then it really put into perspective seeing the seniors, guys like Riley Till, Bakari, and Ryan, what it really felt like for them. It had to be even worse. And it was just, it wasn't a good 48 hours for anybody. But like I said, life continues and we have another opportunity.
Further questions for CJ? Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, CJ, I know you won a state championship in a really, really big arena when you're in high school, right? So what did you learn from that experience about what it takes to play in the postseason? Obviously, those games are much different, right?
Yeah, especially the state I come from, there's no classes. It's just one winner, one state championship. So small schools play the big schools. It just takes a lot. Being connected as a team, that's one thing. My high school team is really connected. And that's one of the reasons we were able to make a huge run there. And I see a lot of the same thing in this team now. We're really connected, and we're ready to embrace the moment.
Chad?
On Joe Wieskamp, we talk about his offense all the time, but how have you seen, as someone who plays right next to him, his defense improve, and how has that been kind of a factor in you guys' surge at the end of the season here?
Yeah, he's a really good defender. You know, he's long, he's athletic. He can guard the point. He can guard 1 through 4. So he's extremely dimensional, and he rebounds very well too. So he helps us out a lot on the defensive end.
Anything else for CJ? All right. Thanks, CJ. Thanks, everyone.